Thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity. So, first question is, what can you say on Armenian economy?
Armenia is a country which is landlocked and energy dependent, so that creates some constraints. It's also a country that's blessed with a great climate, a great people with a lot of talent and a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. So the Armenian economy is growing. We expect it to continue growing in the coming year. It has strengths in the energy sector, in the agriculture sector, in the IT sector as well. It has a great potential for tourism, which is currently not as much exploited as it could be, and it could attract more investment. And for that, I think the key to attracting more investment in Armenia is improving the business climate, improving the way entrepreneurs can do their business without interference from authorities, without undue interference from other business groups, and so on.
In your opinion, what kind of influence the Velvet Revolution have had on Armenian economy?
Well, I'm going to give you the same answer as Deng Xiaoping when he was asked about the influence of the French Revolution on the world economy, which is it's too early to tell. So if he could get away with it 200 years after the fact, I think I can get away with it 2 weeks after the fact. But it's genuinely too early to tell. I think we are in a situation where there's a new government, there's been a peaceful transition of power, which is remarkable. I think the entire world has looked at Armenia and seen a peaceful transition, which is an achievement. It speaks to the maturity of the Armenian people and democratic institutions. We see a group of people who have spoken very clearly on their willingness to engage in the fight against corruption, demonopolization of the economy. So these are good things. Now, as with any new government, actions speak louder than words. So let's see what the actions are.
Do you think that the Velvet Revolution could have positive influence on Armenian economy?
I guess again it's a bit too early to say. I've heard that there is a clear renewed interest on the part of not world investors but Armenian diaspora investors who are keen to come and look back at Armenia as an investment destination. I'm sure they would be most welcome. We would like to work with them. We have the team on the ground, we have the experience of working here, we have the ability to implement projects in a very transparent way without corruption, and so we welcome new investors. We'd be happy to partner with them. You know, EBRD can lend money into projects, can provide equity capital into projects, and we believe there's more potential to the Armenian economy in, say, food processing, adding value to the economy in general. A lot of the agriculture as subsistence agriculture nature, and there's potential for more. It's a potential for more value added. IT again is a promising sector. There could be light industry. We support one of the mining companies, the Lydian company, who is mining for gold in Armenia. We're working with them as well. It's not just about the money, we're also providing technical assistance or providing standards for environmental and social norms that help these sort of companies improve the way they work. And so in all of these areas there is a strong appetite and willingness on the part of EBRD to support this.
You know, there is widespread opinion that oligarchic system monopolies are the most serious obstacle for the development of Armenian economy. What can you say on this?
Well, monopolies are bad in general because that means people have to pay more. You know, even if it's a monopoly for the import of fruit, well, then you pay your fruit more when you go to the supermarket. If it's a monopoly for the construction of roads, you pay more taxes. But at the end of the day, monopolies generate extra profits for the monopolists and extra costs for the others. All right, and it's no secret that there's a lot of monopolies in the Armenian economy, and we see demonopolization as a strong lever for further economic growth, and also, frankly, monopolists deter entrepreneurs. Who is going to try to, from a very small base, as an entrepreneur with a new idea, who is going to try to take on a large monopolist? No one. They prefer to immigrate.
Have you discussed this issue with previous Armenian government, and what was the answer?
We have discussed this problem with previous governments. We have generally received an answer that was along the lines of, yes, it's important, we need to do something about it, but it's difficult.
What is the most serious obstacle for the Armenian economy, in your opinion?
Well, again, the interconnection is a problem. The Armenian economy is open to the rest of the world in theory, but in practice, it's very hard to get to the rest of the world. I mean, the road to the north is really bad. The railways, don't even want to talk about the railways up to the north or to the south. Even when you get to Georgia, actually, the road to Russia is also very difficult to take because it goes through this mountain pass, the Lansi Pass, that is closed part of the year. I mean, so we're actually investing. One of the best things we've done for Armenia over the past few years is not in Armenia. We're investing to build a tunnel under the Lansi Pass together with the Asian Development Bank, and that's the only road to connect Armenia to Russia, so to make the Eurasian Economic Union a reality in practice. Okay, all of the other roads are either closed or closed for Armenian truckers and so on and so forth. Right? So that's really important. Integration of Armenia with the rest of the region would bring substantial benefits. That's clear. Then, of course, and it would, by the way, also help with the monopolies. Because if it's easier to import-export, if there's easier logistics opportunities, then it's harder to maintain a monopoly.
You have had negotiations with new Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. What was in your agenda?
Well, I wouldn't call this negotiations. I think it was an introductory meeting. We had discussions. I think, were happy to see that there was a common understanding on continued strong partnership between Armenia and EBRD. We've been investing in the country for 20 plus years. We are not political dependent. We work more with governments that want to improve the business climate and have the right policies. And what I heard this morning from the Prime Minister was a clear commitment to continuing to cooperate with the EBRD and a clear commitment to the right sort of economic policies.
And last question, what is your forecast on the Armenian economy for this year?
What I see, though, is that I expect this to be a good year.
Good year.
I see that there is enthusiasm, a good spirit among the people, and that there's no disruption. Very often when you have a government change, as for example was the case in Ukraine 4 years ago, you had a lot of disruptions in the economy as a consequence, also because there were military operations and so on and so forth, which fortunately is not the case here. And so I see no unrest. I see people continuing to have a willingness to invest. So I think it's going to be a good year. If God gives us good weather, we'll have a good harvest, which is always a good determinant of growth in Armenia. I see a good year for this year.
Thank you very much, sir, for this interview.